Hi everyone, welcome back for the fall semester. This is Emily. I'm going to be the instructor for Topics Lab this semester. So this is going to be our dry lab video for our dry lab assignment. So if you can follow along with the procedure that's been uploaded to Blackboard, as well as use the worksheet that has been uploaded there as well. So I'm going to do a demonstration of the QC. And in the hospital setting, in the blood bank, we do this QC daily. So this QC tests basically any test that we can do with tube testing. So we use a kit that comes from our manufacturer. So it comes with an Anacera, and then it also comes with a red cell reagent. So we are going to be using these two reagents in the QC kit against our reagents to make sure that they're working properly, to make sure that our tests are being completed properly. So I've also uploaded an interpretation chart of the QC results. So those are our expected QC results. So during the demonstration, I want you to record the reactions on your worksheet and then submit that to me. Okay. So I'm just going to follow the procedure that I've uploaded. So we're going to use 14 tubes, which I've labeled already. And I'm going to start dispensing our reagent. So I'm going to add anti-A reagent. So this is going to test these couple tubes are going to test the ABO testing. So anti-A to tube 1 and then to tube 13, which, yeah, okay, and then 13. So these first, let's see, 6 tubes are going to be for ABO. Okay, so then I'm going to add anti-B to tube 2. And to tube 3, A comma B. So this has both anti-A and anti-B in it. And then to tube 4, I'm going to add 1 drop of saline. That's going to be our ABO control. So to tube 4. And then to tube 5 and 6, I'm going to add anti-D. So tube 6 is going to be like our week D testing. So we're going to incubate that, but we'll see in a minute. Okay. And then to tube 7 through 12, I'm going to add our Anaserum from our QC kit. So that's 7 through 12. And as you can see, I'm adding the more like clear reagents to the tubes first, because once you add your red cells, it's hard to tell what you've added and what you haven't added, what still needs to be done. So by doing this, I know exactly where I am in the process. So if I get interrupted, I know where to pick up. Okay, and then I need 2 drops of polyspecific AHG to tube 14. So this is our polyspecific reagent. It has IgG and C3. So I'm going to add that to tube 14, or 2 drops. Okay. Okay, so then now it says 1 drop of the reagent QC cells, so that's from our kit. To tubes 1 through 5. So again, that's for our ABO testing to make sure that that's working properly, that our reagents are functioning the way they should. Okay, and then 6 and 7, I'm going to add our A1 cells. Okay, and then 8, I'm going to add our A2 cells. So this is testing the reverse part 8 of our ABO. And then to 9, I'm going to add our B cells. Okay, so, and then 10 and 13. So this is testing our screen. So I'm going to add cell 1 to 10 and 13. And the reasons for all the this testing is also outlined on the interpretation of the QC results. So it tells you why we do all of this. Okay. Then to tube 11, we're going to add the screen cell 2. And then to tube 12, we're going to add screen cell 3. Okay, and then to tube 14, I'm going to add my check cells. Okay. So we've added all of our reagents and our QC kit reagents. So now I'm gonna mix all the tubes, spin them for 15 seconds. So I'm just gonna do 1 through 9 for the moment. Okay. Okay, so this is tube number 1. Try to zoom in. There we go. Oh. So go ahead and record that on our worksheet. This is tube number 2. Sorry, the lamp's kind of in the way. Okay, record that reaction. This is tube number 3. Tube number 4. Tube number 5. Tube number 6. This is tube number 7. This is tube number 8. And tube number 9. Okay. So now that we've read 1 through 9, where am I at? Okay. We are going to discard everything but tube number 6. So if you remember, tube number 6 we're going to treat like a week D. So I'm going to save that. We're going to incubate that later with some of our other tubes. So now I'm going to spin the rest of our tubes. So let's see, 10 through 14. So I'm spinning the remaining tubes for 15 seconds. So 10 through 12, we are testing our screening process, our antibody screening process. 13, we're checking to make sure that our AHG is reacting specifically to IgG antibodies and not IgM. That's why we added the anti-A. And then also tube 14, we're checking that our check cells are working properly with our AHG. We should see a positive reaction for that. Okay, so tube 10. Tube 11. Tube 12. Tube 13. And tube 14. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of tube 14. So I still have tubes 6, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So we're going to continue testing those. Let me just move these up. Okay, so tube 6, like I said, we're going to treat that as a weak D, so I'm just going to put that in the back. And then 10, 11, 12, and 13, we are going to continue with warming those at 37 degrees, so with an enhancement, so just like our antibody screens. So we're going to add PEG, our enhancement, so 2 drops. Okay, and then I'm going to include tube 6 that does not have any enhancement. I'm going to put these in the heat block for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to wash these 4 times So I'm going to pause the video and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I just pulled my tubes from the heat block. So they've been incubating at 37 degrees for 15 minutes. I'm gonna wash all 5 of these tubes by hand. So I'm gonna, just as a refresher, remind you guys how to do that. So I'm gonna take my saline, I'm gonna fill all these tubes up to the top. Okay, so then I'm going to put these tubes in a spin for 1 minute. So I'm going to pause the video. Okay, so I've just taken my tubes out of my centrifuge. They've spun for a minute. So I just want to show you, so all the red cells are down at the bottom of the tubes. So I'm going to dump these and take off the saline. Let's see if I can pick them up. So if you notice, the red cells stayed at the bottom of the tube. There is a little bit of residual saline, so I'm just gonna mix those up a little bit just to wash them extra good. Kind of disperse those red cells again, and I'm gonna do the process all over again. So I'm gonna fill these all the way up with saline and put them into spin for another minute. So I'm not going to bore you guys with this process, but for my last wash, I am going to dab them with gauze or Kim wipes or paper towels to get a dry cell button. So I'm going to do this an additional 3 times. Okay, so I just pulled my tubes out from their 4th wash. So I wanted to show you guys this. So I'm going to dump them. But then I'm going to tap the tube to get a dry cell button. So I'm going to dump them. I'm going to keep them inverted and then tap the tubes to get that extra saline out of there. That wasn't a very good demonstration. Let me try it again. So I'm going to dump the tubes. Leave them inverted. Take my Kim wipe and just tap them. So that gets rid of that residual saline. The red cells are still in the bottom. One more. Okay. So my red cells stayed in my tube. So now I'm going to add my IgG reagent. Two drops. So this is just like an antibody screen testing or any panel testing with PEG methodology. Or this one did not have any enhancement, so that is treated like our week D. Okay, so I've added my 2 drops of IgG. So I'm going to put these into spin for 15 seconds. So I'm going to put those in. I'm going to shake them. So these reactions that we're reading right now, and I forgot to mention this earlier, everything we've done up to this point is an immediate spin reaction read. These ones are AHG reads. They've been incubated at 37 degrees with an enhancement, with or without an enhancement, and then we've added our IgG. So these reactions are going to be recorded in our AHG column. Okay, so this is tube 6. So this is like our week G testing. Whoa. So this is the AHG read for tube 6. So record this reaction there. Okay. This is our AHG read of tube 10. This is tube 11. This is tube 12. And this is tube 13. Okay. So to my negative reactions in tube 6 and tube 13, I'm gonna add my check cells just to make sure, since I added IgG to those tubes, I want to make sure that that is not a false negative reaction. So these check cells should be positive. This reaction's not actually recorded on your worksheet, so, but it is still part of the process. So I added 1 drop of check cells. I'm spinning those for 15 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna read these both at the same time. This is tube 6 and tube 13. So as you can see, those are positive reactions. So that's what we want to see. Okay, so as long as you guys were recording the reactions on the worksheet along as I was doing the testing, and there are also some additional questions to answer when you submit this dry lab. So I want you guys to, there's also an outline, so please review that about QC testing in the blood bank, and also make sure that you review the interpretation chart so you know why we're doing all of that testing and what all of that means. So on the worksheet also, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this, there's also another column that says pass or fail. So based on the expected QC results on that interpretation chart, either write pass or fail according to that. Okay, I guess that's it. So I'll see you guys next week.